If you're a dog owner in Edgewood, you know it's a pretty special place, right? So finding the right person to help you and your dog navigate life here is a big deal. Let's walk through exactly how to pick the perfect trainer for your family.
Living out here in the high desert comes with its own set of unique joys. And, yeah, a few challenges, especially with a dog. We're going to break down how to find a trainer who really gets our local environment so your dog can be their best self.
All right, so here's our plan. First, we'll talk about what makes training here in Edgewood unique. Then, we'll get into different training styles and how to size up a pro. After that, it's all about the practical stuff, cost and local rules, before we wrap up with some great local spots to practice.
Okay, let's start with Section 1, Training in Edgewood. It really all starts with knowing our own backyard. You know, living in Edgewood means your dog has to be good in two totally different worlds. One minute you're dealing with the quiet, rural side of things, like staying calm when a jackrabbit or a roadrunner zips by. The next, you're running errands in Albuquerque or Santa Fe, and your dog needs to walk nicely on a leash past all sorts of distractions. A really good trainer understands this balance.
Moving on to Section 2, let's talk about choosing your training style. This is all about finding an approach that just clicks for you and your pup.
Pretty much all modern, effective training is built on positive reinforcement. And what's so great about it is that it's not just about teaching commands, it's about building a real bond of trust. You're rewarding the good stuff so your dog actually wants to work with you. It's just a great, humane way to build that relationship. So, knowing that's the philosophy, how does the training actually happen? Let's figure out which format makes the most sense for what you're trying to achieve. Group classes are fantastic for general manners and for getting your dog to focus on you when there are other dogs and people around. A super useful skill. Just a heads up, for the best selection of classes, you'll probably be looking at a short trip into Albuquerque or Santa Fe. Then you have private or in-home training. This is perfect for those specific issues that pop up at home, things like going crazy when the doorbell rings, surfing the counters for snacks, or barking at every coyote you hear. The trainer comes right to you and works on the problem where it happens.
And of course, there are board and train programs. This is where your dog goes to stay with a trainer for a bit. It can be a really great way to jumpstart training if you have a busy schedule or if your dog needs some really focused, intensive work to build a solid foundation.
All right, Section 3, Evaluating a trainer. You've got the what and the how down, so let's figure out how to find the right who.
So this is a big one. Since New Mexico doesn't actually license dog trainers, certifications are your best friend. They tell you a lot about a trainer's professional commitment. For general stuff, a certification like CPDTK is a great sign. But if you're dealing with more complex things like fear or reactivity, you'll want to see credentials for behavior consulting, like a CDBC. Those letters prove they've really put in the work.
When you're talking to a potential trainer, have these questions in your back pocket. You'll want to confirm they're using positive methods and ask about their credentials. And I think this one is key. Ask how they'll specifically tailor the training for life here in Edgewood. And of course, get clear on how you'll track progress and what the total cost is, especially any travel fees.
Time for Section 4, where we get down to brass tacks, costs, and local rules. This is all about the practical side of being a responsible dog owner.
So here's a general idea of what training costs in our area. A 6-week group class might be in the couple $100 range. Private lessons are usually by the hour, and those more intensive board and train programs are, naturally, a bigger investment. And don't forget to ask about travel fees, since a lot of trainers will be driving out from the city. Part of being a good dog-owning neighbor in Edgewood is just knowing the rules, right? Your dog has to be on a leash and under your control in public. And getting a rabies shot isn't optional, it's state law. And, you know, in our quieter neighborhoods, keeping nuisance barking in check is just a good neighborly thing to do. A good trainer can definitely help with all of that.
And last but not least, Section 5, our local resources. Let's talk about where you can go to put all this amazing new training into action.
The Edgewood Town Park is a great spot for a simple, leashed walk to practice staying calm. If you want a bit more of a high desert challenge, the Manzano Mountain Trails are amazing for working on focus with all sorts of wildlife around. And when you're ready to practice that recall off-leash, the closest dedicated dog park is up in Santa Fe's rail yard.
So when you boil it all down, it's really about these three things: planning ahead, using humane methods, and being consistent. You put those together, and you're well on your way to having a confident, happy dog that's a joy to have in our Edgewood community. Just imagine taking those stress-free walks or having people come to the door without a huge chaotic scene. That's what this is all for, so you can enjoy every part of living in Edgewood with your best friend by your side. We really wish you the best of luck on your training journey together.